Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to episode 10, lap 10, if you will. John here with Motivation Theory Running, and it's Tuesday. It's definitely a Tuesday. Feels like a Tuesday afternoon. I'm extremely tired today, so don't mind me as I partake in my caffeine. I have that. That's just to wake me up and this for dealing with the week so far and this past weekend. How is everyone doing? Who do we got out here? Oh, man. Let me get down here, open up the chat. What's going on, Frank? Hello, everyone. See if this will let me see. It won't let me see who else is in here. I think there's 8 of you. 8 of you in here. Welcome. Please say hello. That way I can greet all of you. I appreciate all of you stopping in, hanging out. Welcome to another episode of Motivation Theory Run Club. Oh man, it has been a very busy last 7 days for me, and can't wait to tell you about it. First, what's Frank talking about? Frank said last week a cyclist on the Capitol Crescent Trail assaulted a girl who was putting up a BLM posters, and was filmed. Twitter tried to find the guy using Strava, ended up accusing the wrong dude. That's unfortunate. It is definitely unfortunate. What's up, David? Welcome. Frank, hello. Recycle on Wednesday, hello. What's going on, everyone? So last week, a cyclist was on Capitol Crescent Trail. So he was impeding on somebody who was putting up a poster. Now, whether you agree with what she's putting up or not, I don't. You should never insult anyone. First off, that's first and foremost. But welcome, 46 Pirate. Welcome to the stream. That's unfortunate, but Strava's good for a lot of stuff. They track you. They can find out. They got lots of ways of finding out. There's lots of digital exhaust when it comes to people doing things. So hopefully they'll find the person if they insulted someone. It's crazy. So in this episode, I want to talk a little bit about my training plan, my 50K training plan. I get asked this all the time, like what is my training plan? What do I use to train? Do I just kind of make it up? I'm going to kind of go over the training plan that I've used for a long time, and I've kind of modified it a lot. But I'm going to go over that training plan and kind of what I use it for and how I go in and out of things and how I become very ad hoc when it comes to stuff. Real Brother 32, what's going on? How are you? Hope you're doing all right. Good to see you. So I'm going to be going over that. So for those of you who follow the channel closely, you've noticed there's been about 6 or 7 days of no posting. Last week, I couldn't do the Friday live stream, and I might not be able to do the Friday live stream. I might have to try to change the time because my son has baseball practices on Friday. So that's all kicked up. So in Virginia, things are starting to pick back up, and baseball's picked back up, and so that's usually what eats up the majority of my life. Typically, I'm coaching, but I'm not coaching now. So it's shuttling my son back and forth. So that has happened. We had a couple practices last week. We had a tournament this weekend. So I was outside, as you can probably, I don't know if you could see, but I got some good raccoon eyes here from the tan that I got on my face having my sunglasses on. I've been trying to stay out of the sun. Lots of sunscreen and big hats and stuff. It got me. Anyway, so that's been taking up a majority of the time. Practice tomorrow. Practice last night. So it's been tough to get the content schedule that I have complete. I have stuff I need to get done. I have stuff I've written and I've had to do. I just haven't had time. So Real Brother 32 said LOL. Recycle on. Let me go back. Recycle on Wednesday said, Frank, every part of that story is upsetting. I hope the person who was assaulted is recovering okay physically and emotionally. Or Brother32 said LOL. I'm sure that was at something else. It's probably me. You also said Hey, my friend, blessings. Good to see you. Blessings to you also. Good to see you. Hope everyone's safe and happy. Things are kind of crazy right now. And I released a video, if you guys didn't see it, where I said on Global, what was it, Global Running Day. It was all I kind of had in me to kind of put out. And I thought it was good, feel good video. I liked it. So if you haven't watched the Global Running Day video, I thought it was a good video. It's something I'm proud of. It's not like there's a lot of information in it. There's almost none, but it's just a good visual, and I like the music. It was pretty cool. I like the message. Real Brother 32, you got a hell of a tan. LOL. You should see me. The golf course has been unkind. The sun, it will get you, especially if you're not acclimated. The heat has been getting me. The sun burnt my son Chase. He got, I mean, I put it on him, and he's definitely less acclimated than I am to the sun. Yes, I got tan lines. It's going up my sleeve. Multiple different types of tans. When this all happened the first day, I was kind of burnt. It was crazy. But luckily, I mean, I tan pretty dark, so which I don't like, because now my white hair it makes my white hair look even whiter. Actually, I went into Dunkin' Donuts today. I got referred to as that man with the white hair. The heck? What's up, Kirk? Kurt said, hey, on my way to trail run, gonna listen, but I can't communicate. Well, I definitely can't. I can't argue with you going on the trail run. That is something that I have not done in quite a while. It's been too long. Been letting my foot heal. I think I went back prematurely a couple weeks ago. Kind of irritated a little bit, but my foot's feeling good. My foot is about, I'd say it's about 93, 94%. I know it sounds weird to try to go there, but it's not 95. I know that. And it's not 90. It's somewhere in between there. The foot's feeling good. I'm able to get up on my forefoot and kind of push a little bit. I've been doing a lot of half mile long hill repeats, which has been a lot of fun. It's been fun to kind of try to go fast and push a little bit. It's just, I get bored. I've been looking for some different workouts, so I'm going to be incorporating a lot of hill work and stuff like that. Yeah, have a good run. Be safe. Frank said, baseball practice is happening. It is. In Virginia, they've opened things up, so all kind of my son plays on a travel team. And yeah, we had a tournament this weekend, and it was surprising. There wasn't as many people as I thought there would be, but there was a lot of teams there, and they did try to do things like keep the boys separated in the dugouts, try to require masks, no more high-fiving and sharing of equipment. They're not letting you use seeds and things like that. You're not supposed to spit. Just trying to do all that they can. The fans, non-family members are supposed to stay 6 feet or more away from each other, which was not a problem with the amount of space around a baseball field. It's just really not a problem. So yeah, it happened, and for the first time in 3+ months, it felt like life was back to normal. I watched. Saturday was a full day of baseball. Sunday was pretty good chunk of the day, and it felt like normal life. It was good to kind of just pull yourself out of the kind of routine we've gotten in with the masks and the quarantining and stuff like that. It was good. And it's something that I think he needed, I needed. I think a lot of people needed. It was good to get back to normal a little bit. Real Brother 32 said, I haven't been putting on any sunscreen. Man, you better put on some sunscreen. The sun will bake you good. Gotta take care of your skin, man. We all do. And especially as we get older, I start to see these age spots, sunspots. I do all I can to try to protect my skin now. I need to get out on the golf course too. My game is going to be bad. It's going to be real bad. Frank said, not inaccurate. The white hair. Oh, that's what you're referring to. Prematurely gray is better than balding. Yeah. Well, on this channel, the funny thing is I've had to answer the question so much about my hair and my beard, and like people would ask me if I dye my hair, if I dye my beard, the pattern that it was. And so I finally made a video a couple years ago just explaining how I went prematurely gray and just all that kind of stuff. And that video is starting to blow up now. Like it's been doing steady views and stuff like that for a couple years, but now it's just like blowing up. And it's funny because I start having people subscribe because they think that's the content I do. But it's funny, the comments I get on that video about my gray white hair and beard, it's funny the stuff that people say. But it was not an whoa chair upstairs. That was crazy. What's up, Joe Kern? Welcome to the stream, and welcome to everyone else who's joined the stream. If I can't see you, Joe said we had a 15K trail race this last weekend and a 12-hour this weekend. Excited to get back to racing. Nice. That had to feel awesome. That was one of the good things about this past weekend with baseball. Like, I think things are just going to start to chip away. People are going to start to do it. Everyone has been planning for months how to safely get us back to normal life. So I think we're going to get there. I mean, I think we will get there. I don't know how for everyone. It's different for all of us because we all have kind of a different threat matrix of, you know, where we are with the virus and everything like that. But I think we're going to get there. It was nice. It was definitely nice to feel normal. It really was. Missed the joke. No, I didn't miss the joke. Say prematurely gray is better than balding. Yeah, that was going to be the other part that I talked about. Oh, did they think I thought you were joking? No, I've seen. All right, let me address Real Brother 32's comment about putting on suntan lotion. Just so everybody knows, it doesn't matter what color you are. You still got to wear suntan lotion. You can still get burnt. Just so everybody knows, it's not the pigment of your skin that keeps you from getting burnt. Now, he has more melatonin because he's black, but it doesn't mean he doesn't burn. You can burn. He'd probably be on it longer, you know. So he wasn't joking. So Real Brother 32 said it wasn't a joke. Black folks wear sunscreen, not get burnt. Big time. See, we're not just a running channel. We're teaching people about everything now. I appreciate it. Real Brother 32 said I got raccoon eyes. I do. I don't know if you guys can see him in the light, but I do. My son's got him real bad because he wears goggles for glasses. And also Frank, yes, I will not complain about going gray as long as my hair isn't falling out. There's nothing wrong with being bald. The follically challenged are okay. But it is funny that I have a lot of my friends that I was growing up with who made fun of me for going prematurely gray that have gone bald since then. So, you know, I'm not going to say it's karma, but I don't know. I'll take it, though. Oh, that just cracked me up. My wife said, "Oh my God." Yeah, when my son and I came home, you got to picture this, you know. So we're, you know, my son hasn't been out in the sun for months, so he's lily white. I mean, and his his white skin went out, and he just got, well, he didn't get blistered, but he was pink from here down. His whole face was pink. You got to think, so like we get these tans around the neck, and then I have this watch tan. If you guys, let me show you. And so you can probably see that I get the watch tan from my watch, like that. And so he and I come down with our shirts off, and it is a show. It's complete dumpster fire of the worst tan lines you've ever seen. And we're just we're not blistered, but we're just super red. It was very funny, but it turned to tan. At least on me. He's getting over it. So I have to, like, you know, completely cover him so he doesn't burn. He gets it every time. Those goggles, nothing gets through the goggles, but he gets burnt like this right under his goggles. So he gets the huge raccoon eyes. Joe Kern said good times. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. That just cracked me up. Yeah, Recycle on Wednesday said, yeah, I will always wear sunscreen and or sun protective clothing. Yeah, I think everyone says it. just so everyone, I'm a huge advocate of that. Just with skin cancer and all that stuff, you don't think when you're younger, you don't think about it that much, but as you age, you get older, you start to see the effects of spending a lot of time in the sun and not protecting yourself. So I will wear a visor now, and hats to try to protect myself. I'm not very good at it. I spent a lot of time this past weekend. So wasn't just the baseball games, as I was on my deck. I've been redoing my deck, replacing the railings, building benches. I'll take a picture of it when I'm done with it, and I'll show you all on one of these hangouts. But I've been spending over 12 hours a day in the sun for like days, so I'm beat. That's why you see me having the beer and the coffee. I've been pushing through. So I hope everyone's okay that I haven't released content. YouTube starts to shun you a little bit when you're not releasing content all the time. So I'm doing what I can. That is a question I have for you guys. So from doing all this time, I used to vlog quite a bit. And so there's a lot of times where I would just like to put up like a vlog. Like I would just give you guys an update, just like a general talking like I would like this. Would you guys think that that's like problematic? Like you guys don't want to see that, or you just only want to see me doing tips and running videos and shoe reviews and product reviews and stuff like that? Like, where do you guys fall on that? I mean, you guys are, I would consider the hardcore. You actually come out to the hangouts, so you're probably not typical of all of the audience of this channel. But there's a lot of times I would just take my phone and just record, do an update about what's going on, and then put that on the channel. But I'm always reluctant to do that because I don't know if people really care. Robo32 said, I'm bald, but I refuse to let the grays out right now. John, I've been dyeing my beard. Come on, man. Come on. Don't dye the beard. You got to let it go. Just let that silver beard come out. It looks cool. Joe Curran said, anybody else got live races soon? I don't. I'm hoping that they will open up around here soon because they're opening up baseball and athletics and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that they will start around in Virginia soon. That would be very cool. And speaking of product reviews and ambassador stuff, I got a meeting tomorrow on with somebody that puts on races and stuff like that, and they have a connection that they are trying to have me look at some products. So I'm excited. I'm excited to get some more stuff to review and pass along. Joe Curran said, I tell my wife I've earned all of the grays so I can dye them. The gray ones so I can dye them. Don't dye. You gotta let it go. I'm anti-dyeing. Dyeing and dyeing your hair. Oh, David Rowan says Scottish people can get sunburn indoors. The bright lights get you. Oh, crying up. So I'm of German and Irish heritage. I don't know where I get my skin, but I get like really, really dark in the sun, so I'm not sure where it comes from. Joe Kern said, wife is Swedish, so she gets burnt under a light bulb. Oh, this is funny. Real Brother 32 says, take your time, my friend. We will be here. I appreciate that. It's YouTube who doesn't care about my breaks. I've enjoyed having the last week off. It's been nice to kind of just unplug, spend my time with the family and taking care of baseball. And I have a honey-do list like you all would not believe. So the deck, I've made huge strides on this deck. I've been working so hard on this thing, and it's been killing me because it's 1,000,000 degrees on this deck. And still running it in after that. So those runs you see me posting on Strava, those are after either being outside all day for baseball or being outside all day working on a deck. So I'm beat, and I'm just pushing through the best I can. But I think about all of it as training. It's all heat acclimation training, which training in the heat during the hot season is only going to make the fall season races that much sweeter, that much better. I love that after coming off a really hot summer and then going into fall. And everything feels so easy when temperatures start to drop down in the 60s, 50s, and 40s. It's awesome. Your brother 32 said, the more information you give us, the better, I think. Yeah, I appreciate this. So I like vlogging. I like putting on the formal videos where I kind of give you my reviews on shoes, and then I give you my official like studio type, there's different types of content when you're on a channel. There's content you make for the current subscribers. For those of you who have kind of made a connection with me and you feel like you kind of know me and you care more about me and my personal stuff, than just talking. That's why you come to these, which is awesome. And then there's people that are just general people who do searches, like they're searching on, how to run hills or, shoe reviews. And that's what they come across me. They'll never subscribe. They just watch a video. So I got to make content that kind of helps bring new people in and helps, what's up, you do it? What's going on? Good to see you in the stream. So that's kind of what I have to balance is the content you make for your current subscriber base and the content that is out there to try to bring new folks into the channel. And it's a constant balancing act, but there's a lot of times I just want to make content for those of you who support me, the subscribers and things like that. So it's good to know that you all wouldn't care with me doing that. And you'll see that. So sometimes you'll see me in my car. That's because I just have something simple I want to talk about and I want to get it over to you, and I don't want to get bogged down in tons of editing and all of that stuff. It's just super time consuming. Especially since most people don't care. I've done polls and stuff. Most people don't care whether or not it's a super polished video with fly-ins and graphics and all that kind of stuff. New people to the channel might see that and be like, oh, wow, this is professional. I'll subscribe. And then there's people who just don't care. They want to see the running. Granted, I see some very big channels that are on running that don't have any production value and that do really, really well. So that's the good thing about our age group. I think we're a little more forgiving. Real Brother 32, take your time, my friend. We will be here. More information. Sorry, I'm catching up. Frank said no, a vlog would be fine. A workout report is often interesting. Absolutely. That's what I kind of want to do is talk about the workout report and kind of things I'm dealing with. Because I think there's a lot of people that are probably in the same boat as I am. So it's nice to know that people have the same struggles or are going through the same thing and how we handle it. And that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about my training plan and how and where I kind of derive it from. So I'll get to that soon too. Recycle on Wednesday said, I like the vlog type videos. I learn a lot from them. That's good. David Rowan said, October will be the first races in Scotland. Everybody will be on kilts, weren't they? They're going to run all those races in kilts. Joe Kern said, serious question. How long before an ultra do you stop and let your muscles recover? I typically will do the same thing that I do for tapering in a marathon. So usually about 2 weeks out, I'll start to reduce my mileage and rest. And trying to remember, I probably will only put in a couple shorter runs even the week of an ultra. Like I pretty much 7 days out, I might just have a couple 2 or 3 milers, like really, really easy. I'm all about going into a race completely healed as much as I can. Like I've always heard and followed the adage that there's nothing you can do the last 2 weeks of a training block for any kind of race except hurt yourself. You can't improve anything, and that's what I've always heard. I always just kind of followed that. Does that make sense? Like pretty much that last 2 weeks, there's nothing you're gonna do that's gonna improve. The only thing you can do is help yourself by resting. So that's what I do. I usually spend the last 2 weeks just kind of chilling out, keeping my legs fresh by a couple, runs here and there. But really, there's really no hard training going on the last 2 weeks of any training block that I've ever done before a race. And that could be different for people that are like competitive runner, going to place in the money and stuff like that. My biggest thing I want to do is go into a race not with any kind of nagging injury that I have to kind of do. Like when I ran the 50K on the treadmill, I had an injury. I had to suffer through it. And you could see the emotion at the end of that in the video. Like it was not easy. I didn't express how hard that was during the race just because no one wants to listen to me whine for 7 hours. But it was a lot of emotion of finally getting that comeback done and just dealing with the pain that I had to run on the entire 7.5 hours. It was hard. Real Brother 32 said, your videos, Motivation Theory Running, are always informative, and that's helpful overall. You've got to keep us all happy. Not easy, but your vlogs, videos are very good. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Yeah, I think the cool part about having a channel, and the reason I do it, is I like having the connection with people. Again, that's why I respond to all the comments and questions and things like that. I like having the connection. Like while I look forward to the channel growing, it will be a struggle for me to have a channel that's so big where I can't respond to all of the people. And if this chat was just constantly going and people are asking questions and I can't see them and get to them, like, while it's good for the channel and it's good for the success of all the work I put into it, it's not good for how I feel about paying attention to and answering all the questions and stuff like that. So yeah, it is hard. It is very hard. Frank said, the videos in the car work surprisingly well. They do. I don't know why. I've done videos in the car. So when you make content and you spend all this time, like I make videos that I have done the research, I've scripted and just planned out and recorded and edited and did all the stuff, did all the graphics, and they'll do well. But then occasionally I just do like a really easy one. It took me 10 minutes to do. I thought of it. I'm like, I want to do this video, and it just blows up. Like I don't. That's the weird thing about YouTube. You just don't know. The algorithm it does its thing. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Posner 2. Good to see you. So I got the lights in my eyes, so it's hard to read. Posner 2 said, I'll have to dive into your video history to see if you've done it already, but I'd love to see you do a series of videos on Beginner's Guide to Getting into First Ultra. I have one this August. I do have one. I don't know if it's called, I think the basis of the channel was really around trying to get people into their first ultra, like that transition period from runner, just everyone who runs 5K to a marathon and then transitioning into ultras. That was kind of demystifying the ultra for people. So I think I do have it. I have to remember what the playlist names are. But if you actually go to my channel and scroll down, you'll see all the playlists and stuff like that. They're named correctly, so you can watch. There's a lot on there that does exactly what you're looking for. And plus, you can ask me questions too, so I'll answer the best I can. Dave Rowan said, kilts chafe. Do they? Or is it your leg? They run? They rub your legs on the outside? I would think kilts do the opposite of chafing. Like you're free. You're just free. I don't know if I could run out of kilt though. That's a little bit too much freedom. Way too much freedom. Positive said, not sure if I'm ready for that soon. You're good. What's the farthest you've run? Have you run a marathon before? Let me go, while you type that in, let me go look at, so the reason I did this video, and it's been almost half an hour now, sorry it took this long, but it was good catching up with everyone. Back when I started transitioning into like marathons and ultras, I really just followed Hal Higdon's plans. And let me go ahead and try to see if I can bring up the page. There we go. So Hal Higdon obviously is a runner that's been around for a long time. He writes for Runner's World, just has written tons and tons and tons of books, and his stuff is free online all over the place. And basically, when I first started running ultras, I just took like a marathon training plan and just kind of modified it, added in some back-to-back long runs. And I didn't really think about it too much. I was just trying to get time on feet. Like when I first started getting into it, was really just trying to concentrate on how can I get as much time on my feet as I can. And so Hal Higdon has this training plan, 50K training plan, is pretty much the basis for all of my training. And those of you who follow me on Strava, you see I'm kind of all over the place. And it was originally derived from this. I've been coming back into running, so everything's been kind of modified, and my life takes over. And so the good thing about this, and I'm actually probably going to be buying the Hal Higdon app, and where it has a lot more stuff that you can do. You can change your days, switch days, and it just kind of all works for you. And this is not a plug for this. I just really started looking into all this stuff. But it really goes through breaking down kind of the importance of the long run, and where you should be going from beginning to end. Run slow, stuff we've talked about. If you guys have ever noticed, when I run, I'll do a lot of reverse splits and longer runs with some speed work at the end, where I'll run a certain pace, and then in the last couple miles I'll speed up. Walking breaks. So it's really based off of Hal Higdon's philosophies and things like that with walking and stuff. And flexibility. I need a flexible plan. I don't have the luxury of being on a really hardcore strict plan, because obviously as a father of 5, I have a full-time job. I run a YouTube channel. I have to have balance. I really have to have balance in my life, and I have to prioritize. So family is first and foremost. I have to do that. My job. Typically YouTube will take over my actual running. So I'll end up producing content over running. And that's kind of what happened when I fell out of it the last time. YouTube started taking over, my job started taking over, and I kind of just got out of it. But all that being said, is this plan right here, and it's offered free. So you can go through this and look. They got it in KMs and miles. Is kind of the basis. It's 26 weeks. And I typically, even when I'm just maintaining right now, so I'm usually staying right around or I try to hit right around this week. I like 10 to 15 is kind of where I live, depending on where I am. Like these back-to-back long runs back in the day, I would do like 10 on a Saturday, 20 on a Sunday, is basically where I would get to before running an ultra. But I think probably, trying to look at we start talking about 2.5 hour runs, like that's what I'll go at. So like a week 8 is pretty much what I try to look at about mileage wise. I try to run some, 4 to 6 miles a couple times a week, try to hit an 8 miler, maybe once, twice if everything's going good for the week, and then try to run for 2 to 2.5 hours on a Sunday. And that's typically what I try to do just to maintain. That's what I've been trying to get back to. Sorry guys, I'm gonna get back to the chat here in a second. I just want to kind of get through this. So this plan right here is the one that I followed for a long time. I have books like, and I actually think I have the book. I don't want to spill my coffee. The one that's shown up here. I can't find it. The Marathon, the Ultimate Training Guide. And I also used this book a long time ago, Run Faster from the 5K to the Marathon, How to Be Your Own Best Coach. And so when I really was trying to educate myself on running more, just getting on the cerebral side of it, thinking about it, I read a lot of books like this that would kind of teach you the philosophies on why you do certain things. And this had plans in it. And so basically my workout schedule is based around this, just taking bits and pieces from what I've found out that work. I know what I can do weekly and maintain my fitness, what I can do to run an ultra. So when I talked about you guys about being undertrained for that, to run 31 miles, I knew I was going to be undertrained, but I know I could do it just because I have trained for that type of stuff so much in the past. I know the mileage I could get to and still complete that distance without getting hurt. Am I going to be fast? No. Am I going to be competitive? No. But I know I can do it. And a lot of people, when you run your first ultra, it really is just about finishing the race. And all of this stuff is the stuff I've learned over time. My training schedule right now is super ad hoc. I'm trying to add in things I know, some speed work, interval, hills. I'm putting those in now because I don't really have anything specific that I'm training for, so I'm just doing them as I feel like doing them. Again, my schedule is all over the place. So like when I go to baseball practice, I might have 2 hours. So I'll try to run a 10K. Probably some of those baseball practices, I'll try to run 8 to 10. As you guys can see, and you've heard me talk about in the past, how Higdon subscribes to running, 30 to 90 or more seconds slower at pace. So what your marathon pace would be, what you would try to run a marathon at, running your easy miles, majority of your miles during the week at that pace. So I do run a lot at that pace. I still believe a lot of people run too many hard miles in training, and I just don't do that. I don't care enough. I know it. I've talked about this in the past. It sucks because people will see that and be like, "Oh wow, he's super slow." It's like, no, I purposely don't push because I'm 44. I can't go out and run 8-minute miles every time I go run or below for 10 miles. I just can't do that every time I run. I'll just break down and I won't be able to keep running. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. When you're running and you're younger, you can do some of that, but you will pay for it eventually. So my training is kind of an ad hoc of all of these things. And I know that probably I'm not the only one that struggles with time. So one of the things I want to talk about in the next video is just how I balance my time and how I've learned to just deal and just accept and not stress over it. I used to stress hardcore that I'd miss a workout, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I missed my speed, my interval workout. It's going to be the end of the world. And Hal Higdon's plan and his philosophy, if you go read through here, really talks about that. What's okay and what you can deal with, and it seems like it's the philosophy is there for me. So I bought into this many years ago, but you can look this up. And I'm thinking about buying, and they got this stuff out here for training, fitness walking, triathlons, beginner runner's guide. You see, they got the ultra marathon. They got all kinds of plans out here, and they got details, and you can pay for it. So they think it's like $39 or something for this plan for the app, and I'm probably going to do that and review the app later on. So if you guys don't want to jump into something like this, I'm going to probably do it. And they have programs for marathons, half marathons, 5Ks, 8Ks, 10Ks. And because I've done these plans before, I can only assume the rest of these are pretty good, and they're based on running, science and running, and it's not just somebody just making it up out of nowhere. Anywho, that's where I get my stuff from. I know I get asked that question all the time, and that's where it is. It comes from Hal Higdon. Talking too much. And you guys can go search. There's all kinds of people that got all kinds of different philosophies out here for doing stuff. So I'm not saying only one way is the right way, but it's definitely, it's worked for me. Let me jump back here into the chat. I'm not ignoring anyone. I'm getting there. And there we go. All right. Getting back. There we go. All right. So I think we ended where Posner was saying you had not run a marathon. And that's fine. I was just asking. So most of the time I'll tell people, if you've run a marathon, you can run an ultra. You can definitely run 31 miles if you can run a marathon. You can run 50 if you've run a marathon. It's just about slowing down. And someone's probably already said this down in the chat. So Joe Kern also said, thinking about a fall run in Tennessee, Georgia area. If anybody has any suggestions, thanks. It'll probably be hot. I don't have any suggestions, but it'll be hot. Postner 2 said, hiked 30 plus miles, running currently, base building using heart rate training, getting about 30-ish miles a week. 12 to 13 miles are my long runs. I think with that, you're good. I mean, if you can do that, if you can hike for 30 miles, and if you can run 30 miles a week, I mean, I can run ultras on 30 to 40 miles a week. After I've gotten my base there, I mean, I can maintain and run them and not have a problem. The long runs are probably, I do believe in the back-to-back long runs. I think if you're able to get to a point where you can run 10 to 12 and also maybe a 17 to 20 or back-to-back a couple weekends, well in advance of your race, you're going to be fine. It's really, It depends. I mean, if you're really hardcore, like you want a time you want to hit, then you probably need to train enough to get to that time. But if it's your first and it's just to finish, I don't know the cutoffs or what you're looking at, but I think you're going to be good. Frank said to Prosner, if you are looking at a 50K without tons of vert, the way to answer the question would be if you feel like you are in shape to walk for 10 hours. Yeah, the vert has a huge part of that too. You know, I've told you guys the first one I ran had a ton of vert, had a ton of climbing, and I wasn't prepared for the amount of climbing. I finished, it was brutal, and it kicked my butt in every way. But as much as you can train for the type of race you're going into, you'll be fine. And there's gonna be walking. There's absolutely gonna be walking. Even if you're at the current mileage you're doing right now, there's going to be a fair amount of walking. But if you increase that up, it depends on what you want to do, what your goals are. There's a huge spectrum from, you know, winning a race to being the last person finishing an ultra. There's a huge spectrum of of training philosophies in there, and mileages per week. Frank also said, if you can walk for 10 hours, you can do a low vert 50K. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it depends on what it is, what you consider vert. Some of these billy goats out here are lucky they live in places they can constantly get that vert in every week. Hey, Mickey, welcome to the stream. Hi, everyone. What did I miss? Well, let me start over from the beginning. Oh, nothing. We just talked about my busy schedule, why I haven't posted last week. We talked about baseball, decks, why Real Brother 32 wears sunscreen even though he's black. He explained to everyone he can still get burnt. That still cracked me up. And then we talked a little bit about my training philosophy and where I derive it from, and it's from Hal Higdon's 50K training plan. And I think that's about where we are. That was the abridged version of this. Oh, that cracked me up. Ask it. Oh my goodness. Joe Kern said, hi Mickey, ask about the sunscreen. That was great. Oh, and I'm drinking a beer and a coffee. There's no rules here during quarantine. Well, we're in phase 2, but it is. It is what it is. Oh, crying out loud, that cracked me up. Posner. I say your name different. I say Posner too. I'm terrible with the names on here. Said I have hiked 50K with more vert than is in the 50K race I'm looking doing. You're good. You're good. But here's a thing in ultras that most people don't think about. And that is nutrition. It's one thing to be able to train, but can you deal with dehydration and what types of food you're going to have to be taking in, because palate fatigue is a real thing. Weird stuff happens, especially in like 50 miles and above. I've had races where everything tastes like gasoline, and I still can't figure out where that came from, but like I would drink the water that they had, the food, everything tastes like exhaust. I don't know what it was. Only the things that I brought didn't taste like that. It's weird, but palate fatigue is a real thing. Like I've had things that I love, and then after 8-9 hours of eating and drinking that stuff, I just couldn't even stand to smell it, much less taste it anymore. So have your nutrition plan nailed down. That's actually in some of the videos, and if you look through my playlist, I'll talk about a lot of that stuff. Catch back up. I moved the screen. Mickey said, I do have a burn on my shoulders. LOL. Yeah, we talked about sunburns. We talked about my raccoon eyes and being out in the baseball tournaments and working in my deck in the sun every day, which has made me this nice shade. I can see myself right now, and it looks like I have like tanning lotion on, like bronzer or something. Like I look really dark to me. I've been out in the sun a ton this week, a ton. So that's the other thing. I'm advocating for hats and suntan lotion. That was the other thing we talked about. Hey Arlene, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. David Rowan, did I welcome you? I think I said I read your quote, but I didn't say welcome. Welcome to everybody else who's watching, but not commenting. What am I looking at? Why am I missing the count? The count thing's gone. This camera one. I've had different cameras on. So look at this. This is camera one. Which one is this? Oh yeah, see this is the laptop. I think I've had the laptop one on for a while. But I did start the stream with sound. So this is the laptop. And that is the external camera. Sorry, squirrel. Arlene said, hi, late because I was doing hills. Well, it's always appropriate to either leave the stream for trails or come late because of hills. Kurt left because he had to go run the trails. Evidently, this happens during his workout time. But welcome. I've been doing a lot of hills the last couple weeks, too. I enjoy them. I like hills because I feel like you can get a really good workout in a short amount of time. You know, I'm always dealing with the amount of time that I have, and that was one of the things I was going to talk about. I started to work on getting faster so that I could run farther during my workouts. I remember back in the day when I could go run for like an hour and 15 minutes and knock out a lot of miles. And now, because I run slower, not so much. But I'm getting there. But the hills are a good way of getting a really good workout, and it's like speed work, like it's weightlifting. Hey, Tasmania Running, welcome to the stream. It's easier for me to read my phone right here. David Rowan said, ladies Ultra website will give you a good 16-week plan. It's free. Yeah, there's a lot of free stuff out there. So, you know, you guys don't have to pay for that. But I'm interested in the Hal Higdon app because there's a lot of stuff that you can change with the plan and get feedback and all kinds of. There's other stuff that's part of it than just the plan itself. It's not like they just give you a grid to follow. There's a whole lot of stuff in it. So I'm gonna review that. I'm gonna sign up and review it. Thank you, Joe Kern, for the super chat. I appreciate that. Gonna go get a short run in. Well, that's always good. That is always good to get a run in. It's always good to get a run in. I've been taking that play out of the book too, because a lot of times if I can't get my 6 or 8 miles in that I want to do, and I got like pout and I don't even do the run. But I've been doing that. I've been going out at least getting 4 in. So good luck on the run. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Just so you guys know, like always, that stuff goes straight into the account. But the stuff that I use when I buy the shoes and the reviews and all of the subscriptions I have for the editing stuff, that's where it all goes. Okay. Let me go back here and make sure. Frank said, yeah, you should be fine. Plan on doing something like running 30 minutes, walking 10, or something like that for the first time. Yeah, that's good advice, Frank. Like, have a plan going into your first ultra of like what your run walk plan. It's always better to have a plan and then being forced to walk, where you just go out and people run an ultra like they were running a half marathon or a marathon, and then they get smoked and then they have to walk. If you work in walking at the beginning, it's going to make the race a lot easier for you, a lot less painful. Positive 2 said, Frank, thank you for the feedback. There we go. Community, I love it. Arlene M said, I use Galloway's customized plan on Final Surge. The coach who makes up your plan is an ultra runner. See, yeah, there's lots of opportunity out there for folks to leverage that. I mean, there's running coaches everywhere. Like if you guys have the money and there's something you want to do, if you can hire a running coach, let's see why not. Transition to this camera again. color is much better on this other camera. I don't know. What do you guys think? That's webcam. Can you guys see the purple in that? Because I can't really see the purple in the background. But when I go to this one, you can see the purple a lot better. I'm getting sidetracked. Yeah, the Galloway has a lot of good stuff. So, I'd recommend what works for anybody is what works. I mean, it sounds silly. What works for me might only work for me. We're all different. So, it's good if you can have somebody who can give you feedback. It's always good. Always good. And help you plan it out. Joe Curran said, I do better on looped courses, 2 to 5 mile loop. I know it's all mental, but that helps me. The funny thing about me is I'm the opposite. In running and training, I like doing loops. Just when I know that I might have something come up and I'm close, but I like putting myself in a situation where I have to run to get my mileage in. Like, so if I have to do, there's a day I have to do like 15 miles and I'm just not feeling it, I make sure that I run out 7.5 miles to 8 miles. I make sure that I do that for the simple fact that I have to run my butt back. There's days where I just don't feel like it. When I go out in the trails, I love running the trails, but some days I'm just stressed and I know that I got to get back home. And I'm like, well, it'll just be better if I get back early. And some days I just will run and make sure that I get it in. Things will be okay, but I just let the stress level rise. And so for me, it's always good to do what works for you for your motivation. To me, sometimes it's drop me off 10 miles away and make sure that I get my 10 miles in. Hey, welcome to the stream, Goku Runner. What's going on, man? Hope you're enjoying the... It looks sunburnt in that cam. I'm very dark right now. I've been out in the sun for the last 7 days. I'm very, very tan. We've had lots and lots of conversation about this. Yeah, there's a lot more saturation and color spectrum in this one on my laptop. What am I looking? Where are we right now? Yeah, Joe, go have a good run, man. That's what Recycle on Wednesday have a good run said. Have a good run. Again, thank you, Joe, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Oh, Goku Runner, I missed your chat. What up, John and everyone? Welcome to the stream, Goku Runner. Appreciate that. See, you've been dealing with the humidity like I am. It is kicking my butt every day, but I am getting more acclimated now. It's kicking my butt, but I like it. I need it. I need that. Posner 2 said, have you ever read the book, The Essential Sheehan, A Lifetime of Running Wisdom from the legendary Dr. George Sheehan, older era of running, but very motivational? I have not read that. And that is the longest title ever. I have not read it. I have not. For motivation, for me, it's reading the books that were like Born to Run and Ultramarathon Man. Those are kind of the books that like gave me like to want to do things. Now the rest of it, it's just the science behind stuff, trying to get smarter and better. Maybe that has in there. For older era, I have the Lore of Running back there. I think that's an old one, older version of it. It's got, I mean, that book is like thick as the Bible. I mean, there's like 1,000 pages in it. And I used to just reference it. But it's an older era book too. I can't even say this. Welcome to the stream, Eric. I'm just going to say Eric because I can't say Soderblom. I know I'm saying that wrong. But welcome to the stream. He said, I have a 50 on Saturday. I'm assuming 50 miler. Panic because I have not been able to train up to standards and have gained 5 kilograms in 3 months. So if you're still going to consider doing it, start off slow, then go slower. That's all you got to do. Don't try to take off too much. Just get your nutrition squared away, eat, and the only thing, I've gone into races undertrained, and it's just go out slow. Take your time. Ease into it. It's going to be painful, but you can get through it if you just understand that it's going to be painful, and don't try to go out too hard because that will smoke you. I don't know your fitness level. I don't know your mileage. I don't know your base, but my advice to anybody who's going in undertrained, just start off slow, then go slower. And if you have gas in the tank, push at the end. Welcome to the stream, West Virginia Running, Don. Good to see you, buddy. Go Corona says you look sunburned on the cam. Oh, yeah, I read that already, but to me, I can't tell. I can't tell. I'm not sunburnt, though. I'm not sunburnt. Tasmania Running, prefer the purple version, but it doesn't show up. Your deck varnish as much. Oh, crying out loud. Eric said, if I have to do more than 3 loops, my brain melts. Yeah, I like the interloopal races, and I do a 24-hour race that's a 6.25 mile loop, and that's not too bad. It's big enough where it doesn't feel like you're just constantly looping. The people that do the 100-mile races on 1 mile loops, oh my goodness. I've never done one that small of a loop, so I don't know. I don't know how I would do. I was thinking about how I could run a 100-miler near where I live, and just like me trying to think about all the different loops that I have and just doing them 10 times, like 10 mile. I just can't. I don't even want to think about it. It gets to me. Fly around the mic. Where is this? Fruit fly or something? Why don't you land in my coffee? West Virginia Running Don says, I'm always looking around my small town. Yeah, you do. You run some miles around your town. You said, my training plans have been Hal Higdon half and full marathon and the Sage Running Marathon and ultra plans. I have read the Hal Higdon marathon book. Yeah, it's good information in there. Basically, the 50K, that like I was showing you guys, I've done the 50K ultra training plan, just kind of modified it to my needs, is basically like the intermediate Hal Higdon marathon book. Like as you get more and more complex or experienced in running, Hal Higdon kind of can up the complexity of the training plans and things you can do. And that's basically, it's like an intermediate marathon training plan for the 50K. And I just modified that to make it a 50 miler. If I go to 100, I'm definitely going to have to put some more mileage in, and I'll have to find a better plan for that, because that one won't work. The 50K one will not work. Eric said, you're saying it perfect. Oh, that's new. I never say I'm perfect. I always blow everybody's name up. So I appreciate it. It's good to see you. I think this is the first time I've seen you in the chat, so welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. West Virginia Don says, I've been listening in the car, just now got to chat. Well, good. I'm glad you weren't trying to chat in the car, Don. It's safety first. Safety first, Don. Posture 2 said, what are good sources to learn about nutrition for ultras? Well, I would search on it. I'm trying to think if I have one just off the top of my head. I used to, you remember the guy, you guys might not remember it, but there's a guy I used to follow all the time, and I can't remember his name now. He was the fruitarian guy, then he had a business, then he got in trouble with like taxes and tax evasion or something weird, but I got a lot from that side when I was in ultras. Like I have a tendency to want to go towards not veganism, because it's not about the food, it's just about trying to eat cleaner so that I don't have as much inflammation and I feel better. But if you look at all the best ultramarathoners in the world, let's look, I'm getting some buffering here. Some of those are the best ultra runners in the world are vegans and things like that. But that being said, I've always explained that when it comes to nutrition, we're all an experiment of one. So I can kind of give you what works for me, but I don't know what would work for you. I do better when I'm eating more real food in an ultra. I don't know. I burn a lot of calories. I know we all burn a lot of calories when running. So I'm seeing some buffering, guys. So if you're not hearing this, I apologize. I apologize for that. YouTube's been doing this. Uh-oh. Anyways, experiment of one. I would try to just do some research, find out what you think could work for you. You know whether or not real food will work for you, if you could use just liquid nutrition or gels and things like that. But just realize in ultras, using gels and things like that, the sugars in them can get to you after a while. There's certain people that can run a 50 miler in under 6 hours, and so they don't have to consume as much as somebody who's going to be out there for 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 hours. Just try to find out what works for you. I've learned that eating real food works for me better. I can kind of have some stuff, but I have to have real food. So I would just do a search on it, just on, ultra nutrition. I've talked about it in a lot of videos of the past, but I can't point to a specific one off top, right now, because I don't remember. Are you taking off, Eric? Hey, it's good seeing you. Midnight in Europe. Have to go. Thanks for the stream. Take care. Hey, good to see you. Remember, we're every Friday and Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Friday is going to probably change. I might try to do it earlier Friday. If everyone... Yeah, that's the only time I try to do it, before baseball practice Friday. And I'll let you guys know. West Virginia Don said, I meant looping. Looping in the car. Listen in the car? I don't know what you're talking about, Don. Goku Runner said, I'm doing the 80-20 training plan. Another great one. Definitely would recommend that to anybody who's looking for something to just base their training plan on, or to have as a training plan. Goku Runner also says, you're almost at 5,000 subscribers. Planning anything crazy? 50 miler for 5,000? I don't know. I thought about that, when Kofuzi hit 50,000 subscribers, he did a 50K. And I was like, maybe I'll do another 50K for 5,000. I don't think I'm ready to crank out a 50 miler right now. Just carving off the amount of time is tough for me, because with work and the list that I'm doing, the honey-do list that I'm working on in baseball, it's going to be tough for me to carve off that amount of time. So I don't know. I definitely want to. I haven't been thinking a ton about it, but I have noticed that it's been creeping up to 5,000. So, if you're not subscribed, please make sure you hit the thumbs up on the video right now. If you guys are in there, I know you guys are all in there. Please, right now, go click the thumbs up for the video. Again, that helps the video do better. All those metrics, all the chatting that you're doing helps the video do better. It's all YouTube stuff. I appreciate it, guys. I hate having to bug you guys about that. So hit the thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, please make sure you do so, and click the bell so you get all the notifications. That's another big part of this. If you have to click the bell and then select all notifications, that way you get notified for everything that I put out, or else YouTube will determine what you want to see of mine or not. So it just helps. You want to see everything that I do, it will definitely help you see them if you click the bell. Audio is perfect. Awesome. Yeah, I've seen a lot of latency, even just on YouTube today, and I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but it's a YouTube thing. I see a lot of, just so you know, YouTube TV, it's not worth the $50 a month. I like it, but there's a ton of latency, and I know it's not my network because I have the high speed, and Netflix has no problems. It never buffers, nothing. But YouTube TV is constantly dealing with issues. So 5,000 subscribers. I'm almost there. I don't know where I'm at right now. Coming close. So if you guys know running friends, please share my channel. I don't want just a bunch of random people who don't want to watch running content. I want all the people to be engaged. So if you know runners and you think they'd be interested in my channel, send it to them, and hopefully they'll subscribe. That'll be great. Recycling on Wednesday said, Eric, take care. Tasmania Running said, audio is perfect. That's awesome. Good. I like having good audio. Arlene M said, pickle juice works for cramps. Absolutely. I love pickle juice. Tasmania Running said, pickle juice, ? I actually have pickle juice popsicles, and they taste as good as it sounds. I like pickle juice. Like, we'll take pickle juice in this house and people will drink it. It is good for getting your sodium, electrolytes, all that kind of stuff. That's one of the things in ultras you got to deal with. Taking in too much waters is bad. Not taking in enough sodium and things like that is bad, because if you're not getting your sodium, your electrolytes, you're not going to absorb the water correctly. and you can run into a dehydration or overhydration. So you got to find that balance. You got to find what doesn't upset your stomach over a long period of time. I learned running ultras that I can't eat gels the whole time. I can't use the Tailwind stuff. Like, I was an early adopter of Tailwind. Like, when they first came out, I bought a huge thing of Tailwind. And I'm like, I run in the JFK 50, nothing but Tailwind. I got about 19 miles in after just having nothing but Tailwind, and my stomach was tore up. I was not consuming enough calories, and even though that I thought I was, I'd measured out all the bags. I thought I had enough calories going in my body, and it just did not work. I had to eat real food. Nutrition in ultras for the individual is a trial and error thing. You have to figure out what works for you. I'm a guy that I can run and grab a piece of pizza or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or a cheese roll up and a tortilla. That stuff works better for me to have the real food. I think because I'm a bigger runner, I burn a ton. So I'm sure, like, Goku Runner, he's a bigger guy too. Like, he's going to burn more calories than somebody who weighs 120 pounds and it's 5'7", Just like you look at Seth James Damore, he's super efficient. He doesn't burn as many calories. I'm sure he could probably survive on eating, 500 calories running a 50K. I'm probably going to have to eat 10 times that. Probably just because he's out there for 1/10 of the time I'm going to be out there. Yeah, so it works for cramps. Good. West Virginia Running Don said, looping around town. Gotcha. I know what you're saying. I was just giving you a hard time. Arlene M said yes, and beer too. Yep, no cramps right here. Now you're talking. Look at that. Coffee and beer, back to back. Caffeine's good in races too. Knowing what helps keeps you awake, keeps you energized. Sugar and caffeine. Oh man. David Rowan said, "Gotta go. Catch you on Friday." Yeah, does everyone remember on Friday? There's a possibility that there's going to be a delay. I don't think it's going to be later because it'll be too late. But I'll try to do it earlier than a day, so that would probably be good for some of the people that it's late for them right now. And maybe I'll start doing them earlier on Fridays, if it works out that way. Arlene M, absolutely. Coke. Ginger ale works well for this, or just ginger. Sometimes I use a little ginger drop and things like that. It will help with the stomach. It's all good. It's all good. Coke is good. I like flat Coke. Excuse me. So a trick for everyone. Pro trick. Whenever I take soda to a race, I open it and I make it go flat. I need the caffeine and the sugar, but I can't take the carbonation. I made the mistake in one of the races. Foster, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Nope. I got more tips coming for you. Appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. The reason I flatten all of the soda, because the carbonation gave me horrible gas bubbles. Like, my stomach was tore up big time. But I do like having flat Coke or flat ginger ale and things like that. And I would bring my own and just drink from that. I made a mistake in one of the JFKs that I was chugging. I was taking shots of Coke, and they did not make it flat. And I had the worst gas pains in my stomach. It was horrible. I mean, for probably the next 2 hours, I paid for it. So I will not drink carbonated soda in a race ever again. Ever again. I love Mountain Dew, absolutely. Flat Mountain Dew. And potato chips. Potato chips are one of my favorite things for sodium in races. See, Arlene, you're getting it out of me now. I wasn't even going to go all this depth, but you're helping. I appreciate that. So yeah, potato chips are good, but I don't know if you meant for training, because I suggest you practice with this stuff. I don't say anybody should just try all this stuff in a race. If this is the first time you've ever done it, and I did a top 5 things I wish I knew before my first ultra, and one of the things I did is I tried all these things the first time I ever ran a race, and it wasn't great. I had to train with this kind of stuff and find out what works for me. But if you're a clean runner and you run with gels, or you don't eat very much in your runs, and then you go into an ultra and you start eating chips and Coke and all this other crap that they put out there, pizza and stuff like that. If your body's not used to that, it's going to be a battle. So I would suggest, and it's tough to do, eating and running. I do it quite often. I eat dinner. If you guys follow me on Strava, a lot of times I'll eat dinner and I'll come down here and run. It's not comfortable. But when I go into a race and I have to eat a ton, I practice it. I know what works with my body. I know how my body's going to feel. And again, you race like you practice. So you want to practice like you want to race. That's my advice. Those are great tips, Arlene. Absolutely. And thank you for the super chat, Posner 2. I appreciate that. Don said, I always have chips ready for my long runs, 15 plus miles. Yeah, I don't know what, like the sodium, like there's nothing that sounds better than having chips when I'm in an ultra. Like I don't crave them when I'm training, but ultras, I love them. And I missed you. Tasmania Running said, I have caffeine gels for the last few miles. Yeah. Sometimes the gels are a really good thing at the end of the races. I've found, and this is for me, like in marathons, sometimes I'll save a couple caffeine gels and I'll try to put those down, but sometimes I'm so dehydrated, it feels like I'm just taking down tar. I can't like get the gels down, and it's miserable. But you know, I think you just chug some water, get it all down. I have a love-hate with gels. I really do have a love-hate relationship with gels. Hey, thank you for subscribing, Chad. Appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Positive said, I'll have to try running after dinner as well to see how it goes. Yeah, I would suggest, if you're going to run an ultra, I would suggest either getting up, having breakfast, because again, ultras take place in the mornings typically, or they go through the night, is eat a breakfast, see how you feel, and then just kind of go run. And test that out, because you're going to have gastrointestinal issues. Your body's going to revolt. Sometimes it's going to go, okay, it's time for an exit. Just be near a bathroom anytime you can run. That's why I like running and testing on my treadmill. I don't have to go outside and be 7 miles from my house and all of a sudden have to cut into the woods somewhere. You don't want that to happen. So just kind of prepare yourself for these. That's a good training tip, is prepare yourself. Don't go too far. You can run locally around your house, try it out, see how it goes, and then try a little bit more. Try different stuff. That way in a race you don't have to be surprised at all. Arlene M said, I eat clean vegan except during races. I eat junk. That might be why I slow down at the end. Yeah, I think that's one of the hard things, I think, because there are a lot of very clean eating, not just vegan, but just clean eaters, vegetarians, fruitarians, people who kind of adhere to all of those cleaner diets. And that's not what they give you in races. Like, you will not see that stuff for the most part. They're not giving that stuff at the tables. You're getting pizza, chips, M&Ms, and all the rest of the junk food, Coke. Again, I would suggest not having carbonated sodas, just because I've had such a really bad time with carbonated soda in races. Chad said, you bet. What elevation profile would you qualify as a good beginner 50K? I don't know. I don't care. I mean, I like elevation profiles, but I think whatever's near you and what you're used to training on. So, I mean, if you want to train on something that has a higher elevation profile and you want to go for it, I would suggest training for it. But there's some good beginner 50Ks, some good beginner 50 milers, like the JFK 50. I talk about that all the time just because it's local to me. Is a great beginner 50 miler. I don't run a ton of 50Ks other than kind of in training. I've run a couple, but if you want to do an interlupal, that way, a 24-hour race, you can kind of do a 50K in it, or if you want to push further, you can. But I don't know if there's really a set elevation profile that would qualify as a good one. They do rank, if you go out on ultra marathon sign up, I believe. I think they do. There's a website that ranks the difficulty of ultras, like from 1 to 4 or 5 or something like that, and it will rate all the profiles. If you're going into a race more under-trained, and you're not used to doing elevation, then look for something that's a little more flatter. But running the distance is hard enough. So, it's very specific to what you've trained on, I think, to what would be good for a beginner. I mean, I see some people out here that their training runs, they're 3 to 4, 5,000 miles, 3 to 4,000 K, or feet, sorry, of elevation in just like, 10 miles. So those people are billy goats. They're running that stuff all the time. For me to get 3 to 4,000 K in a training run, I'd have to run like 25 miles in my trails to do that. So I don't think I answered your question, but I hope you got some information out of that. Welcome to the channel, though, Chad. Tasmania Running said, I've heard someone call ultras as an eating competition. Absolutely. I've always explained to people that it is a eating contest with running in the middle. And nothing feels like that more than the Interlupal ATR 24 race that I run. Like, it is literally in the pavilion. They have like a 25-foot long table, and they're putting out food on that thing the whole time. And you're just coming there, and you're just like, ooh, look at this. And you're just eating, literally eating stuff that you don't even need. You're eating because it looks so good. I tear up the quesadillas, though. Quesadillas and pizza, loving in the races. You don't see it in all races, but the one couple that I run, they have the good food out like that. And I will go to that first always. And some watermelon if I can, but not too much watermelon. You don't need things too loose. Nothing too loose in an ultra. Ponzer 2 said, good question, Chad. I'm looking at my first 50K that has about 4,500 feet of elevation. Is it 4,500? That's not too bad. That's not too bad. Over 30 miles, 4,500 is not too bad. All right. Well, all right. So what's coming up next for me? So last week I was going into the weekend really good. I ran about 22 miles, and I didn't run at all in the weekend because I had games and baseball tournament and work on the deck. So this week I'm playing it by ear. I have practice 3 times this week, so I'm going to get some runs in. So I'm hoping to hit 30 to 40 miles this week. I'm going to be starting up the Hal Higdon 50K training plan. Not training anything for specifically, but I'm going to be trying to be on a more regimented training plan to kind of keep myself on track. Start balancing out some of the speed that I want to work on. I'm going to do a modified Hal Higdon, so I'm not going to be doing that exact plan, but I'm going to try to do a modified plan. I'm going to try to do a review of it. I'm going to try to do the app, so I want to be able to talk to you all about that. So that's what's kind of coming up for me. Again, I'm working on my deck. I'll show you guys pictures soon. Baseball's coming full swing now. Friday. So everyone realize Friday I'm going to be trying to stream earlier. I don't know what time, but I will send that out. Let me see what Chad said, yep, thank you. And Posture 2, I was looking at 6,400 feet profile. Seems pretty good. Yeah, that's 6,400 feet now, and I don't know if you live in complete flatlands, but that's a doable. Now, if you're talking like 30K, 30,000 feet, 40,000 feet, I would be like, oh, you probably need to really, really train, but that's not bad. That's not bad over 31 miles. So, I would definitely find some hills and some long hills if you can go practice on and train on. So, yeah, that's definitely doable. Arlene M said it's not always elevation, but how tactical the trail is. Lots of roots make it a lot more difficult. Absolutely. Virginia, that is necessary. Like, you might say, well, it's not too bad, but if you have to climb 2,000 feet up switchbacks straight up within like a half mile, it will tear you up. It's not a long, drawn out, slow process of getting there. So definitely look at the elevation profile. How quickly are you climbing within that time? So are you climbing, 2,000 feet within a half mile multiple times, and that will definitely change what that 6,400 feet looks like. But if it's 6,400 feet, just and you can climb 2,000 feet over 5 miles, then it's a little more doable. All right, everybody. I know I've kept you all over 18 minutes. I appreciate all of you joining me. This was a great conversation. I'm doing good. I'm happy. My training's going really well. I'm going to be doing an update video here soon. If you're not caught up, I've released several videos over the last couple weeks that I'm pretty proud of. If you haven't seen the Global Running Day video. Super proud of that. Go watch that. Makes me feel good. Makes me feel, actually the first one I edited that and I put it out, it actually kind of made me tear up a little bit because I kind of realized that, globally, runners are very much the same. We all enjoy the same kind of things, and it connects all of us, no matter what color we are or what we believe, where we are in the world. Running is such a inclusive activity, and it's something I'm proud to be part of, and I'm proud of that video. So go let me know what you think about it, and share it out. It's definitely a really good video. That is all I have for you right now. I will see you all Friday, and thanks for watching, and be safe, everyone. Take care.
Tequila.
Yes, thank you, Posner 2, Arlene, Chad, Tasmania Running, West Virginia Running Dawn, Recycle on Wednesday, Arlene M, Chad, welcome. Again, thanks for subscribing. Jack Cooper, good seeing you. Thank you. Buddy, I didn't miss anybody. You all rock.
Tequila.
I'm still hanging out here. Creeping in. Going through Goku Runner. Eric Soderblom, whose name I said correctly the first time. Joe Kern, thank you for the super chat. David Rowan, thank you. Mickey, Handel, Frank. I think I got everybody. Real Brother 32, keep that suntan lotion on. See, these are going to things you guys are going to have to watch at the end. I'd sneak in here and hear at the end. All right, everybody, be safe.